Say something for the podcast. Tell the people what you feel.
I'm just jazzed about being on the show, man.
You are listening to The Objective Jerk, where objectiveness is the objective, and I am said jerk.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is well. It's been a minute since my last podcast. It's been over like 10 days. Usually I'm like every 4 days ish, but I don't know, just had stuff going on, and plus I'm just I don't know, just didn't have anything to talk about really. I kept thinking, one of the reasons though, so in the past, you know, there'll be sometimes where I put like a video out like 3 in a row a day or something. It's just because it depends on, you know, kind of what's going on in my brain, and if I feel like talking about something, or I want to get something off my chest, or whatever. And then if I didn't feel like talking about something, I would get on Twitter, Twix, and go through, and there'd be something on there that I'd be like, what the hell? And so I'd talk about that. But I still have Twitter, Twix, but I haven't been on it. I migrated all my stuff from Google Chrome over to Safari in an attempt for my Mac to work a little better. So I've been meaning to do it. I've tried it a couple times, but it was just like, too much work, so I gave up. But I finally was like, you know what, I got to do it. And actually, it wasn't that hard. Able to switch over all my passwords and everything. But there was a problem with Twix. And so I just got tired of it. So I haven't been on there. I can't even log in. So I'll try and post this on there, but it's just such garbage though, man. The people on there, and I don't know, it's just kind of, you know, I don't know. I'm actually kind of glad. It's kind of like a blessing in disguise. But so that's why I haven't really talked about much. And I started recording one a couple of days ago, but it was just really forced, and I've been sitting there like, gosh, I got to record one. It's been so long, but I just can't really, I don't know. Anyway, so that's that. That's kind of what's been going on with me. But the reason for this video, or what I want to talk about, was I watched the trailer for Masters of the Air, I think it's called. And it's the new Band of Brothers type show, but it has to do with the Air Force and everything. Now, you know, most normal men, I guess, or I read somewhere that, you know, every man goes through a phase of smoking meat and or being like a World War II junkie, historian, whatever, I don't know. And you know, I did that. I guess. I mean, I still smoke meat and stuff, and I like World War II, but I'm not like a you know, know-it-all. I have, oh yeah, it's right here. I do have this book, which is going to be backwards, I guess, on the camera, but it's Operation Overlord. So it talks about the whole D-Day invasion, the planning, and everything that went into it, and stuff like that. So I mean, I have little stuff like that, but I'm not like a huge. But I remember watching, you know, my grandfather would watch, you know, Big Red One or Hogan's Heroes, and, you know, various World War II movies from the 70s and stuff, and but, you know, as a kid, I didn't really think much of it. And then Indiana Jones kind of, you know, was like, oh, the good Indiana Jones. would kind of, you know, take place and the Nazis were the bad guys and everything. So it kind of brought that to my attention and everything. But I remember the first time seeing anything that really got me kind of into it was Saving Private Ryan. I went and saw that with my grandfather in theaters. So this was, what, 98? I think was when that came out, 98, 99? No, I think it was 98. And I just remember going to that and just being like, I was glued to the screen as much as you can, you know. And I just remember the end scene, the last battle at the end, you know, and they're all prepared and ready, and they're sitting there waiting, and you can hear the tanks coming and squeaking, and you know what I mean? Like, and then as they get a little closer, it's kind of shaking a little bit. Well, in the theater I was in, I was like right underneath an air conditioning that would just blow in cold air. So I was like freezing, you know? And I just remember sitting there, I'm watching it, and it's like I'm a little nervous for the movie. I'm freezing, and I was like sitting there shaking, you know, like I was petrified. But yeah, I you know, that got me into World War II kind of stuff, and then I remember when Band of Brothers was coming out, I was excited for it. I was like looking forward to watching it, and I think I watched the first 2 episodes. I don't know if it was the first one or the after the first 2, and then 9/11 happened, and then I didn't really watch anything. And it wasn't until a couple years later when I was in the Army that I actually sat down and watched the whole series. And to this day, here, my cat. Oh man, hold on. There's a stray cat that's been coming around. I need to hold on. Maybe not. I heard. Sound like a cat. Anyway. Stupid cat made me forget what I was talking about. I watched Band of Brothers. Okay, so since then, not every year, but almost every year I watch it. Since 2000, when was that probably? 2003, I think. I've watched it almost every year once. You know, not every year. Maybe even 2 years will go by, but for the most part, I'll sit and I'll watch it. And I had it on DVD, and then which actually it was like I bought it in Iraq, and it was like a burned copy, or not like a burn, but it was but it was like legit though. Like it wasn't legit, but it was like, it's kind of hard to explain. So in Iraq, and other people can probably attest to this, I guess, but like, you know, there was a lot of bootleg movies. So if you were to get like a new movie that just came out or that was still in theaters, chances are it's somebody recording it on their camcorder, right? But if you got one that's already been out and released, people would actually kind of take the time and make a legit bootleg so it looked just like the movie. And then they even, you know, they'd, you know, make like the booklet. I don't know, it was you could tell it wasn't like, you know, legit, but it worked and looked great. Like it was fine. Excuse me. So I had that for a while. And then I bought it on Vudu, that online. And so I had it on there so I'd watch it, you know. But then I had problems with Vudu here. Now I can get on there with my VPN, but once we came here and I couldn't get on my Vudu and all that stuff, and I'd actually bought like a lot of movies on there, but it kind of sucks not having the actual physical copy. So I don't buy movies on there anymore. I'll rent one occasionally, but I'm basically rebuying all those movies that I bought on there anyway. But anyway, And then recently I bought Band of Brothers again on Blu-ray. And then I also bought the Pacific. Now, I remember when the Pacific was coming out, I was excited too because I love Band of Brothers, you know? And I remember starting the Pacific, but I don't know, something was going on and I just couldn't get into it. And then it wasn't until years later that I sat down and watched it again. And I didn't have the immediate, I guess, attraction to it like I did Band of Brothers, but it's grown on me. I still would prefer Band of Brothers if I had to pick, but I love the Pacific now. And so I remember when I heard about this show, the I think it's called Masters of the Air. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I guess I could look it up. I'm trying not to look up stuff while I'm on recording. I think that's what it's called. So it's basically following a regiment, an Air Force bombing group, kind of like Memphis Belle. Memphis Belle, great movie too, if you've never seen it. But yeah, so it's, you know, it's follows, yeah, Masters of the Air. So it follows, I think it's like 100, what is it? The 100th bombing group, yeah. Anyway, so during World War II, lost a lot of lives and stuff like that. And I saw the trailer, and honestly, I was just like, okay, I don't know. You know? And I was just like, that's, you know, it's not like it looked bad or anything, or it wasn't, but like I was definitely not excited. I'll watch it. I'm sure I will. But I don't know if it's my age kind of getting up there, or if it's the current social climate and Hollywood and entertainment, or if it's both, you know. But it's like anything anything that's been put out in the last few years is just garbage, man. They just suck. And I don't know how many times I've went into a movie all excited and then just been like, what the crap, dude? This is lame. Even like shows. It's just, I don't know. So I'm just kind of like, I've given up. You know, it's like I don't watch anything anymore, hardly. I don't watch anything new. And if I do, I'll definitely research it first. So I won't ever go and watch a movie based just off the trailer. Even if it's like, oh man, like, you know, let's see. Okay, like Deadpool 3. I like the first two, but I'm going to wait to hear some reviews from reliable people about it before I watch it. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is now. And it's like, I don't know if it is my age, or if it's what's going on now, or if it's both or whatever, but it's just like I don't get excited about TV shows or movies. Because they put in this woke crap, and it just takes you out of it, man. And the thing is like retarded is like woke individuals make up like 3% of the population, if that, or something. Maybe a little more if you add woke, because woke is kind of a broad term, I guess, but. And it's starting to kind of show. I mean, you look at like all the news, CNN and everybody, they're losing everybody. Their ratings are just down the toilet. I mean, most news ones are. And just the movies that are coming out, nobody's going to watch it because it's all crap. You know what I mean? It's like nobody wants to go to a movie and get preached at. It's like, I don't know. It's like, and then they try and call you racist and all this kind of stuff, but it's like, well, why are you trying to force it so much? Just let it happen. I don't know. But I did watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which I had actually heard that it was pretty good. So when I saw I was able to watch it on one of my things, I was like, cool, I'll watch that. And I really enjoyed it. You know, it was a little goofy, but it wasn't like it didn't have the characteristics of what is being released now. So it's either if there's not a gay person or a person of color that's replaced, or a person of color that's in a character that wouldn't exist really, but they have to put it in there, and or if they make the male like a complete moron. It's like it has to have one of those things. And so that Dungeons and Dragons movies, and I'm not even into like, you know, sorcery kind of movies. Like I liked Lord of the Rings, but I really have no inkling to watch them again. I've seen them all once. I know there are people that are like, "Oh, what?" You know, they watch it like I watch Band of Brothers, I guess. But I don't know. Like it's just, I mean, I liked Willow as a kid. What are some other ones? I mean, as a kid, I liked it a little bit more, but I just never. I don't know. It wasn't really my forte. You know what I mean? So the Dungeons and Dragons movie, I didn't really. I mean, like I knew about it, but I was like, whatever. But then there's a person I watch on YouTube that reviews movies, and from what I can tell, he has the same taste as I do, because anything that or I've watched a movie and then I saw him review it and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I didn't like it. And then he's liked movies that I like. So now, if he says a movie sucks, I won't even watch it. Even if I'm thinking like, ooh, that might be good. But if he's like, nope, it sucks, okay, I won't watch it. Because he's been right. I think I talked about it before. But anyway, there we go. There it is. Totally forgot what I was talking about. The movies. Oh, the Dungeons and Dragon movie. So he had said it was good, so I watched it, and yeah, it was. It was entertaining. It was funny. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like the most action-packed movie, but it had some stuff in it, and I don't know. It was good. It was good. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I'm not here to. But anyway, that's all. It's just the state of. I'm just kind of curious, anybody that's listening to this, if you have the same problems. Because I was like huge into movies, you know? Like, I've come across this guy on TikTok. I don't know his name or anything, but I've just seen a couple of his things. And they sit there and they show like a frame from a movie or certain things, and they quiz each other if they can see what movie it is. And I get it pretty much, most of them. Like if it's any movie from the 70s, not any movie, but definitely like, you know, some movies from the 70s and then more from the 80s and 90s and whatever, up until like probably about 2010, I could figure out who it is. Or, you know, we used to play this game my wife was just talking about the other day. I don't remember what it was called, but it was about movies and music, I think. It's like a little, you know, like kind of like Trivial Pursuit, but with movies and stuff, and it had like a DVD that you'd put in. So if you had to do something with the DVD player, then you would play that. And there was an audio thing from a movie. It was from Glory. And it wasn't like, you know, Mel Gibson and Braveheart doing his speech. It was just like a little normal dialogue with Morgan Freeman. But I knew it was from Glory, you know what I mean? Immediately, like, I'm like, okay, that's Glory. Like, I don't have many talents or many skills. But for some reason, that kind of crap, I would retain. Like, I always sucked at math, but I could remember the year a movie came out. Like, The Saving Private Ryan. Pretty sure it's 98. Let's look it up. Let me look it up. Like, for some reason, I can remember that, but then it's like I can't remember, you know, algebra and stuff. It's just annoying. But anything in the last, definitely 5 years, but I'd say about 10 years, like I don't really know I don't know much about it. Yep, 98. See? So it's like, how do you go from. I mean, I can kind of understand getting older. You know, it happens. You know, that's why, like, your grandparents and everything were always watching the same old movies. And you know, I remember my dad, like, he would rather much, I guess that works. But he would rather watch a movie that he knew he enjoyed than watch a new movie that he didn't know too much about. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I'm at right now, too. So maybe it is an age thing. Maybe it's just kind of, you know, but it's like I've always been into films and everything, but I don't know. I remember watching like some French film. I used to rent like almost anything and watch it. I'd give it a chance and watch it, and you know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know if it's just, I think it is kind of a little bit me getting older, or maybe it's just me finding my way, plus with whatever. Like, I just talked about this with somebody, the movie Old Boy. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a Korean film that they remade with Thanos. What's his name? Josh Brolin. And I remember watching the original Old Boy, the Korean one. It's all subtitled, you know. And I was totally into the movie. Guy I was in the army with loved that movie. And I was watching it. And I was loving it all the way up until the end. All the way up until you found out who the antagonist was and what their motivation, everything was. And it was just like, what? I was like, that's stupid. I was like, that makes no sense. It just, I don't know. It just didn't work for me. Like, I like having a bad guy that has a legitimate reason. Maybe he's crazy, but it kind of makes sense. Like Thanos, you know, killing half the population. That's insane, but it makes sense at the same time. You know what I mean? So to have somebody have this 20-year grudge and, you know, methodically get back at this guy for some kind of stupid thing that it was the antagonist's fault in the first place. It's just like, what? I don't know. It's just, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. My time's almost up, so I'm not going to go into it. But it's just, I don't know. I just remember being like let down with that film. And that's an older film. But I just was just like, what the hell? So I remember kind of starting. There was another one too, where I don't remember who's in it or nothing like that. But I just remember like a cop is chasing two criminals, like a couple, male and female. I don't remember what they did. If they stole something, I think they killed somebody or something. And he was chasing them, and then while they're running, the female gets ran over, you know, because they weren't paying attention or whatever. So then the guy turns around and he's like, you know, oh, what's your name? And so he, you know, right then and there decides he's going to get revenge on this cop one way or the other. And it's just like, dude, first of all, you broke the law. You're the one running. She's the one that ran out in front of a car or whatever it was. And you're blaming it on this dude. And that's, you know, and people would argue like, well, he's a psychopath, whatever this, that, he doesn't know. It's like, okay, but still, again, it doesn't make sense. And that's why I don't remember it, because it was a, you know, unmemorable movie because of something like that. So you start having people writing characters and story arcs that just are like, what? That's stupid. But now it's everywhere. Every movie has a stupid villain. Every movie has a dumb. It's like, it just doesn't make sense. And just because like it makes sense in their brain, you have to make it make sense for everybody else. Like the people putting out movies today are just horrible. It's like, it's just dumb, and it's like they're more worried about having representation of gay people and this and that, instead of having a good story. If the story if having a gay person works with the story, then cool, whatever. But don't just throw a gay person in there just because, and then make the story work around it. It just looks like crap. Then it's obvious that that's how they made it. It's horrible. And I'm not saying that the Masters of Air show is like that, but I guess until I hear something about it, I'm not getting excited. But that's it. Anyway, thanks for listening. Appreciate your time, and I'll try and get something posted a little quicker than 10 days. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
You can follow me on Facebook or on Instagram and True Social. You can listen to these entire episodes and more on Buzzsprout, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, plus many others. You can also watch the videos on YouTube and on Chorus Rumble. Again, thanks for listening.